Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Book Asylum podcast. I am Jack Childress, and this week we're a little short on crew. Don't worry, nothing bad happened to them, as far as we know. Anthony's out hanging out with Chris Philbrook at a comic book signing today. Richard's at an event doing his thing, and poor Dungeon Dan is just sick as a dog. So he's not going to be around here today, but I still have Kristin, Vincent, Jenn, Amato, Potato, Tomato, Amato in the house, and the one and only coming to you live and direct from Puerto Rico, Angel Ramon. This week on the show, we are so happy to bring to you a Texas author con, and Lord knows how many other cons. Fantastic author, the one and only Stephanie DosSantos. Welcome in. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'll clarify. That's the only con I've been to.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but
well, man, with your setup, because I got to look at a lot of the pictures, dude, it looked like you've been just out hitting cons left and right with that rig, man. What is going on with that? You got more shows lined up?
Hopefully I do. I'll be doing TAC 2024 also, doing a table there, but I might have went just a wee bit overboard. I'm like, okay, I need, this, I need bowls for candy, I need pictures, I need banners. But I think now that I've got that expense out of the way now, hopefully I won't have to do too much else for other stuff. I think probably at this point, I probably need to declutter a little bit. I think I went a little bit overboard.
Well, you have got a gorgeous setup. Like,
thanks.
That is so good. And those are obviously the covers for your books.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about your writing style, the genre you like the most, and when the hell did you get started?
Oh gosh, I like fantasy the most because I can make stuff up. I don't have to double check anything except for a little bit of folklore, because it started with Caribbean folklore when I made a trip to Antigua. I've got 2 books out now, the prequel, and I'm starting on book 3. There'll be 5 total in the series plus the prequel. So been writing for a long time. As a kid, started with poetry, did short stories, always wanted to write a book. Life happened, different jobs, divorced, moving, remarried here, and the husband's like, why don't you do that? You've been talking about that for as long as I've known you.
Yeah,
and
right.
What do I write about? I don't know. And then when we went to Antigua to get married, then that's when the story for Talon in the Tree came about, because the cabbie showing us around on the way to the resort was saying, and in this tree, and he starts telling the story about how the locals would go to the tree, tell them their secrets, tell them their stories if they had problems or whatever. It was kind of their safe space. And I thought, I wonder how many stories that tree has heard. How many secrets does that tree know? Well, then just learning that it was kind of part of their folklore, started reading about the folklore, then the story kind of took a different turn. And I'm like, what if there really was a world under the tree? What if there was space for an entire world and not just a room, like they say? So
that is so cool.
Then it went off. So I was liking it, and kind of going back to the author con, never doing one before, not knowing how to sell. Once I started saying on the second day, it's like this book, it's like that book, people are like, oh, okay, I'll try it. And when I try to explain that story in a more concise way, oh, that sounds cool. But just, walking by, looking at the cover, what's it about? You kind of have to get that down. You have to practice that. So when I started saying like Gregor the Overlander, or I started saying, what's the other one? Not Arusha on the End of Time, but, I'm reading it right now. He's in the other room. Sorry. And but if you can think of those portal fantasies where they take you to another world, when I started saying it's like this, or
well, does it even have maybe a hint of like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you would cross The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe with the Caribbean, and there's a little bit of mystical things. And someone once said Harry Potter. I really wouldn't say Harry Potter except for, is it Dumbledore that's the wizard? I'm really bad with Harry Potter.
Yeah, me too.
There's lots of
where he does like the teaching, and he's the wise old man. That's how
okay.
It's Dumbledore.
Yeah. So yeah.
Died, by the way.
Oh,
Did everybody know that? Dumbledore died.
We saw.
Yeah.
I know. Kind of
R.I.P. bro.
Yeah. But in the little intro video that you had made, there was a picture of me leaning over like a carved tree spirit. I found that in Tennessee on vacation. I said, that's Papa Bois. I have to have that. I don't care how much it cost. It was a chunk, but it was art, and that kind of reminds me of the old wise man. He's got the long beard and dreadlocks and stuff. And so that was a big hit at the table, like you said, it kind of people are like, what's that? Did you make that? Oh, wish I did, but not quite that talented. So that's kind of where the books came from. I have my prequel. Is it backwards? Oh, it's not. It's backwards. And
no,
it's actually coming out straight.
Is it?
It's right.
Yes.
We show off
backwards for you.
So the prequel's free on the website if you're a newsletter subscriber, and you can only get paperbacks from me. And then book 1, it's got the tree. And then
those are great covers.
They are. Lord, they are.
Those are amazing.
Who's your cover designer?
Yeah.
Strange Doctor Design out of Serbia. So I heard of them through an original editor. We didn't get along too well. We kind of butt heads, but found out about them through them. And they just, every one of their covers, if you go to their website, it has a beautiful glow. And the tree glows in the story. I'm like, I gotta have the glow. So they do all my stuff. They do my posters and postcards and business cards and everything, just because they have all the stuff now. So very happy with them. Hard to get on a list, but they're great.
Wow, those are really awesome covers.
Yeah, I am big time interested now. Big time.
Yeah, I got to get one of those books.
That'd be great.
And Angel he is consistently knocking reviews out here lately, and he posts those in multiple places. So just know he will be on that.
Yeah, I'm a little behind right now. I got into a bit of a stump just now, so I'm a little behind. But Stephanie, just let me know where I can find your books, and I'll see I can snag one.
I am wide, so the easiest place is Amazon. But if you are one of the few that don't care to deal with Amazon, you could do.
Oh no, I'm Amazon.
Barnes and Noble, wherever.
Okay,
yeah, pretty
no
much.
problem.
Probably your cheapest is going to be Amazon, and then actually book 1 is out in audio, so you can find it on
nice.
audio as well.
Jack, yeah, that'd be good for Jack.
Yep. Right now I am proofing book 2 for audio, and so I've literally just started. Same narrator, John Joseph Rogers, and he's with AB Book Services. So if anybody is looking for people, they're phenomenal to deal with. They're great. So cool. I'm getting ready to dive into book 2 and pay them some more money, and which actually more reasonable than a lot of other places as well too. But they do all the mixing and audio. Never had a problem uploading to Amazon with all of their rules and all of that. But it is kind of fun to hear how somebody else interprets how the character said something in your book, and it's so hard not to nitpick it and go, no, more emphasis on this or more emphasis on that. But then you're getting into directing, and that's more money. And I'm just like, everybody who reads this is going to think something different. All of us in here will interpret the story different. The pictures we see in our head when the world is described. That's what people tell me. Oh my God, you're so good at description, and
that's kind of important.
It is, but no one will ever see it like I see it, and
That's true.
I have a very good friend that I've just met where we bought land in a neighborhood we like to build someday. Oh my God, you're a writer. Let me read your books. Oh my God, I love your books. Blah, 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 blah. She's like, it should be a movie. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. You know anybody? And she's like, actually, I do. And so it was
no way.
Wide eye emoji. And that's all I wrote back. I was like, tell me more.
My God. Well, and a lot of indie authors, I'm sorry, but I think a lot of indie authors should have, you got a writer's strike going on? Look up some indie author books, because I'm telling you, yes, and it's quality stuff. It's not this garbage that they have out in the movie theaters and on TV today.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
I can't stand. I have read better books than I have. I mean, that's a kind of
yeah. All I do is read indie now. That's
really?
All I do is read indie. Yeah,
that's cool. I mean, that's nice.
Right now,
I don't read
this
mainstream.
One, by DW Hits. This really good stuff.
I only.
Oh yeah.
I only read indie authors since I started doing this podcast too. I had no idea it was a thing. I still thought you had to do the big publishing from the big companies and this, that, and the other. Meeting Jack and all these guys, thanks to Angel. I was like, thank God you guys came around. So how many books is this going to be? A long series? Is this going to be 5?
5 plus the prequel, so I guess you would make that 6. It's
6.
more of a novella. It's like at 40,000 words. The rest are like 80, about 80.
Okay.
I'd like to stay about that. I'm sure some will be longer, some will be shorter, like most.
Right.
Whatever.
And it's funny too, see, because Richard kind of did what you did, because you wrote the prequel after you wrote the first book, right?
First 2.
Well, that's what Richard did with his Wild-Eyed Southern Boys. He wrote the first book, then when he wrote the prequel, it goes all the way back to 1901 and tells the backstory, and then he jumped back forward with the third book into time. So, and I personally, I didn't, when he first pitched the idea to me about doing it that way, I was like, can you really do that so soon? And it works. It really does work. And I guess for you, it's working as well. So, I mean,
well, I haven't got a lot of feedback on that yet, but I did get a really good question from a gal at the Texas AuthorCon when I was like, okay, doing my stuff. You can only get the prequel paperback here. Otherwise you can get it for a free ebook. And she's like, well, let me ask you this. Do I need to read the prequel first to understand the story? Or can I read it later and it will tell me, oh, I love the dog. I'm so distracted by the I used to have a German Shepherd. Anyway.
He is such a cutie too. God damn it. I love him.
My 2 dogs are laying on the floor now being quite good. But she asked me, what order do I read it in? I said, that's a fabulous question because I just finished the prequel and I kind of needed to do that to know for sure, to close my loopholes in what I thought should happen in book 3, 4, and 5. And I kind of needed that more for me. And so you can read book 1 and book 2 and go, okay, what's he going to do next? But if you throw in the prequel, either after book 1 or even after book 2, you're like, okay, now let's get to the meat of this. It's like, quit dragging it out. I need to do better about passing time, which I am doing in book 3. It's being written now, but doing better with that. But it was an interesting question that nobody's ever asked me. Never thought of it. I've never written a series before. This is my first. I have written a book before with my cousin who was a co-author, but we never did anything with it. Just get the words out. But it's definitely learning. So if any of y'all check them out, let me know what makes more sense, because I don't know, because the story's here. I know everything's gonna, the reader doesn't, but I can hint at it. But I know everything's gonna happen. I know how it's gonna end. I know what I'm gonna have. It's just getting there. I'm kind of a planter, I would say. It's always a question. Are you a planter or a planter?
That was gonna be one of ours. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in between. I know points, but I don't know if I'm going to take the highway there or the back road.
Yeah.
I hear you. Okay.
Well, now the thing, like with Richards, with him doing the prequel after the first book, it made sense in that scenario because it gave you the backstory for something that was about to happen, but it also gave you more story on characters that you meet in the first book, because his have Sasquatch and humans teaming up and being friends and all that, underground city, the whole 9 yards. And so you get the, what made these characters the way they are in that first book. Why is Preacher Cody a preacher? What was he like before all that? What was this character like? And then it sets everything up. So in that scenario, the prequel coming after the first book made sense, because it might not have worked if you did that one first and you get this backstory, then you get a whole book that has little to nothing to do with what you got in the prequel, because it's geared to this third book. So,
but did he call it a prequel to where people would need to read it first?
It's the Rougarou War, a Wild-Eyed Southern Boys prequel.
Okay.
That's how he actually titled it. So,
and that sounds very common with a lot of prequels, and what I had done, because the book 2 cover with the Jaguar, this guy Anka used to be a person. So there's a little bit of shape shifting and spells in there, but each of the pendants on the necklace are representative of healers past. So you learn the story of who's who and who's coming back and that kind of thing. So it sounds very similar. So you know who these characters are when you see them, because you don't know who that Jaguar is if you don't read the prequel. You don't know.
I
Okay.
like that there's a touch of mysticism in it. And that to me, and whether it's, real or not, I never, because I am pagan, I never judge anybody's mysticism off of, what they come up with in their book, because that's a creative right. I'm not one of those that is like, well, in this, you do this, I love the creative freedom of and coming up with different symbols and the ability to use the mysticism and kind of just you kind of have a twisting, you're able to twist it and make it new and your own. And I love that. Because that really is real life, it is mysticism is whatever you make it. It's your path. You do what you want with it. But like, that's of course just my belief. But I like when writers do that. I would never scoff at a writer and be like, oh, you can't do that. I love it. I think it's amazing. So I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, it is a lot of symbolism. And because I like that. I like a little bit of mystical. I like a little bit of elemental magic, and Talon gets to play with fire. Like a lot of the fantasy books. I swore I would never write a book where they have balls of fire in their hand. Well, guess what happened? It happened.
See,
Well, I mean, is it a
was-
ball as much as it is a shot, like a spear, a stream of fire? I mean,
well, no spoilers,
Mhm.
but he can take embers out of like a campfire, and he can, breathe life into them and make them bigger and better. And he can
He's
a
take
dragon?
from volcanic. No. But he can take the volcanic ash from the island, and that has magic in it. He can.
I love it. I
Cool.
love it, especially when there's new ways of using the elements that I've never heard. I love that stuff. That is
All right.
my shit.
Well, first question I got now is, do you use Venmo or PayPal? Because I need book one ordered
I
today.
need all of what you have available.
you need the paperbacks of the prequel signed. I can. hook you up.
Yep,
Yes,
that's what I'm talking
please.
about. And the other thing about it is your book, like so many others,
Gets
goes
up on the
back
wall.
there.
Oh, nice. Yes, I accept both actually. I am getting ready to go direct, so I've got some accounts with some of the the bigger websites with direct, but it's not quite all set up yet. So I will do that. But I should have been ready when you guys dialed me up here, because I do have, but I don't know if everybody was at AuthorCon or remembered, but I've got postcards. I'm sorry, bookmarks of swag of the next coming covers. So I should have had cover 3 and 4 out here for you, because they're fun. But it would take me a minute to dig them out. But book 5.
You-
Oh, look
We've
at
got
you!
tons.
Oh,
You got tons.
Oh, yeah. So
But-
I want a bookmark. I
yeah.
do.
Oh yeah. But
All right.
in
By the way,
this-
Stephanie, I got your first book on Kindle, so. I'm
Oh,
looking forward
sweet.
to
Well, thank you. Yeah, book 5 cover is the only one I'm lacking, and Deranged Doctor is going to dive into that in December. So by the first of the year, I'll have them all together, all ready as far as bookmarks, not written, but I'll have my covers all ready for next AuthorCon and stuff. But if you get books directly from me, you get swag. So
I love it.
Nice.
Yes, that's the way to do it.
yes. More shape shifting to come, for sure.
Like it.
How long does
Yeah,
it take you to
I
write a book?
love it.
Way too long.
I agree with that sentiment,
I'm
but go
right there
ahead.
with you.
So my day job, which is actually my night job, I am an ER nurse and I work nights. So
Oh,
I work 6 days in a row, then I'm off 8. So the
You're a
first day and a
goddess.
half, I'm just sleeping. I'm just catching up because I'm dead. But other than that, then I gotta clean the house. I gotta go to the store. I gotta do something with the dogs. I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
Family,
I gotta
yeah.
run to the lot and clear a trail, or I've got to go do this or that. And after I'm done here, we're going to the lot and having lunch with the neighbors. But just life.
Yep.
And so I'm like, I added up for book 3. I was like, I'm gonna be good this year. I bought my planner and I've got it all on the dates on the calendar. And I'm like, every day off work, if I can write 800 to 1,000 words, I'll have a first draft by the end of January,
That's
mid-February.
right. Mhm.
And here we are mid-October, and I've got like 2,500 words.
dang.
No.
It,
Trust me,
it
I'm-
sounds. I feel like I've been writing my 3rd book for like ever, And I'm
Well-
only at 40,000 words. And I'm like, I just have 10,000 more words to go. If
Yep.
I literally get, I work 5 days on, got 2 days off. Let's just pump out 2,500 words a day.
You have
And
life. You have life in you time.
and
you
I'm
know?
sorry, but 911 dispatch is tiring.
Oh, do you dispatch? I used to be a paramedic,
Yes.
so I know all about it.
Yep.
I was going to bring this up,
tiring.
with you doing that and what Jenn has done and her work life, and you guys have been kind of in the same little universe there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually do want to write some kind of a thriller horror novel based around 911 dispatch and or the medical field, because
I'll
never,
Really?
I will never be able to come up with any stories like real life.
Oh, totally.
You can't. I mean,
Yep,
the things
right.
that people come in for or call in for,
Absolutely.
things being stuck in orifices that you're like, what would possess you to put that there?
I fell in the shower.
I fell in the shower. Bet you did not.
You did not. And it's so funny for people that aren't in that circle. They're like,
Yes.
do people really say that? Yes.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes, they do.
We're not stupid.
No, they really,
Just tell me the truth.
those aren't my pants. Those aren't my drugs. Those aren't my pants. Well, whose pants are they? You're wearing them. It's a real
true.
thing. They do
She
say
speaks
that.
truth. She speaks truth.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
That's not my
That's
car.
awesome.
That's not my Coke.
She said this might take a turn toward orifices. So I thought,
Yes, I
right,
did.
there
I
was.
warned you.
there it was.
Yep. And usually, some point, anal leakage will get brought up, and it just
See, I
fits
told you.
right in with that.
Let me
Right in.
tell y'all.
Funny,
I
a
used
funny
to work-
story along the
Mhm.
lines of that. My editor, when Talon goes into the realm in his world under the tree, there's all natural foods and stuff to eat in there. And she goes, him eating all this fruit isn't going to end well.
Explosive diarrhea.
Yeah. So we had to throw some bread and some rice in there.
I used to work at the vet's office and in the reception area, and we got some pretty crazy calls. One of my coworkers that I worked with had a call come in because the dog had a hard on, and they're like, it won't go away. What do I do? And they like, well, I guess I'm gonna grab some lotion. Thanks.
Oh, God. Yep. There we go. There's the zinger
There's
of the
a
day.
whole different set of, oh my fucking
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
at a vet's office.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Took the
Yeah.
cake on that one.
Mm.
Holy
Yeah, I thought
crap.
the crack pipes falling out of vaginas was bad.
Damn.
No, that is still pretty bad.
Some real crazy stuff
And
now.
I know Stephanie has seen officers come in there because they can't take these people to jail because booking refuses them because they've told them they've been raped or they've inserted something in orifices
Or
that
I
they
have
can't go up and get.
Oh
I
my
have-
God. I've got to be
yes.
cleared. Oh my
Yep.
God.
My
They got
favorite
read
is
their
when they.
Miranda rights and
Yep.
amazingly had a
amazing.
medical emergency during
Yes.
the
Now
Miranda
I can't breathe. My heart hurts. And a lot of times I didn't want to comply, so I got tased.
Nailed
Tased
it.
and pepper spray.
Nailed it.
Yes. So, those are fun.
So now here's an off the wall kind of a question because I've actually got to recently experience it. But
Oh
Did-
boy.
I'm- I'm
After
trying
what we've
to
been
get us
talking
Wait
about
a
your
minute.
work.
I'm trying to get us
What did
away
you
from
stick
where
up
we
your
are.
bum this time?
Nothing recently, but there was that bottle rocket that one time. But I mean,
Oh God.
that was for show. That's all. But the first time you ever got to go on Amazon and type in your name and boom, you get the drop down. What was that like? Or have you ever even done it?
I have done it and it was a little disconcerting because nothing came up.
It takes a couple of times first.
Yeah.
You gotta, I mean, if you sit there and you do it like 4 different times from 6 different computers, it'll pop up. Trust
Yeah.
me.
She knows.
I know.
Sure. Yeah, but I think more pops up typing in Talon and the Tree versus my name.
Mhm.
And if you just type in Talon, you get a bunch of romance books, but if you do Talon then it should pop up. But it's just kind of like, it's there.
Neat.
It's real, you know. So
So how
it's
many
like, oh my
times
gosh.
did you look at it when you did find it on
Oh,
Amazon?
I think the first time book one, I probably did it 10 or different times. Is it up yet? Is it up yet? Like,
Yep.
yeah. And I think just because I don't know if I had ads running to it or not, but on book one, it had a #1 new release on like this some weird obscure category, you know.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
it still was like, I got a #1, you know. But it was like,
But you know, we
nobody
get
reads that.
excited because it's not something we get every day.
There's like 10 people in that category that
Thank
read
you.
from that category.
That's
Who
exactly
cares?
what happened.
I'm #1 in it.
I think it's still in the top
I mean,
25 in
that
that category, to be quite
That's
honest.
That's like Amazon would just put you in categories themselves, to be honest. They would
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, I
And
mean,
that's
the
fine.
thing
hey, I mean,
huh?
no, I mean, I'll take the orange tag any day.
Yeah, yeah. Stick my book in. I don't care if it shows up in like cooking books. You know, it's like I don't care. Put it there.
Oh, weight loss. Oh, my favorite, the weight loss.
#1
Yeah.
in tree porn.
No, I don't want to dare.
Man,
But I would like to see portal fantasy be a category from Amazon, because
That would
there's
be
so
cool.
many. I mean, you have so much fantasy already. If you just
Right.
drive down into portal fantasy, a lot of it is just going to other worlds, you
Mhm.
know. And
Right.
so I
Should
would
be.
love to have a category like that, but I would not even know where to start. I mean,
I
one
think it
person
would
has to
dwindle
Amazon.
down.
Yeah.
It would dwindle down the because I mean, if you just put in fantasy,
Yeah,
how many
boom.
millions
Harry
of books are
Potter.
out there?
everybody
and
wants
it's
to know
like,
fantasy.
I do not have time to be searching through millions of books. If they did portal fantasy or portal or something like that, that way they could, you know, okay, these are the ones that are talking about different worlds or traveling to different worlds. I really think that that is a great idea. How do you do that? How do you start a
I
new
don't know.
category?
You'd probably have to get with Craig with 20 books or something, and he's, you know, he's got ends, or Mark or James or something. But I mean, they're not going to listen to little old me.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
but
Nope,
Have to
I
have a
cannot.
bunch of voices coming at them all at once. You know, then
yeah,
they're like,
you
okay,
need
there's-
you need a backing of authors behind you to say, everybody that wants to do this, let's inundate them, and then you might get it done. But
Yeah, that makes sense.
that would be cool. I would
That
really
would be.
love that. I mean,
Well, that's
well,
what
even
part of what
even
this
Harry
show is,
Potter
man. We
would
gotta
fit
draw
in that
awareness.
too.
I mean,
Yes.
the same,
Going to the
yeah,
platform.
I mean, the same thing applies to Carla. I mean, same thing applies to horror too. I write horror, and it's just not enough categories in horror. It's like, I write creature horror, and there's no category for creature horror. So
Yeah.
you know, it's a little
And you
hard.
would think there would be for something like that, because you know it'd be like werewolves and you know
Well, I think a
specific
lot
things.
of I think
I
a
mean-
lot of horror involves creatures, so I think
I mean,
you'd have to
yeah,
narrow it down by
but
different
yeah,
creature
but
type.
I will
Yeah.
say, Amazon does horror dirty. That's my hot take. It does do us dirty. I figure out a
Amazon's
horror
not
idea.
in it for anybody but themselves any damn
Oh yeah,
ways.
you're not wrong, Jen. You're absolutely. I mean, Jack. I mean, it took him 5-6 years to get a mid RPG category, and it's only one. There's
Yeah.
a billion types of mid RPG. So
Yep.
you know, so Jen is right. That's I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And
Maybe it's just kind of
RPG
like the old glacier
huge.
pace.
I'll be
Mhm.
back.
Don't threaten
Yeah.
us with a good time.
Yeah.
But you know, it probably with lit RPG specifically, it's probably just one of those. It's so new that they don't even really know what to do with it yet.
Yeah,
Like,
that is
but
a
how to break it up.
That is a very new
Yeah.
genre.
But even portal fantasy, like you're talking about, you've got Alice. in
That's been
Wonderland, you've
around.
got
Alice in-
I mean, you
exactly.
have these, you know,
Yeah.
the Chronicles, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. You have all these older stories where characters go to other worlds. That's
And it would
not
fit
new.
perfectly, right? And I
Mhm.
think that's why they had the fantasy genre in the first place, obviously, because it wasn't real life and it wasn't horror and it wasn't fiction, but it was something completely off topic and made up, and which is awesome. It's not using real places or anything like that, but I think they need to. Now we have such a huge fantasy genre that they need to narrow it down and separate it out.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll happen. I mean, but who knows?
And well, I want to circle back to early on. You had mentioned that you know, one of the things you wrote was poetry. Do you still dabble with it a little bit? Not at all. You're like, no, I'm good.
Nope.
You're good.
That was the teenage angst years of, oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's Kristin's strong suit right there. She's our
Yeah.
resident poet laureate.
I don't know how she does it. She just nails it.
I just nailed it.
She nails it. It's definitely beautiful stuff. Beautiful work.
I'm actually,
I enjoy some poetry, but I just don't write.
Yeah.
I just finished.
it's not for
book
everyone.
and now I'm formatting everything.
For which
Yep.
book?
Book 3.
Book 3.
In fact, book 1's hanging up there, right up at the ceiling level, right there. I need a bigger camera view by the time.
You
before
need
this is
some
all said
orange
and
on
done.
that wall.
You definitely
Need some
need
orange on the wall.
yes. he
Yes,
does.
definitely need some orange up on the wall. So yeah. Oh, I gotta respond to a quick text message here for somebody tries to call me in the middle of the show again.
Life is getting in the way.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
always
you gotta make
does.
Will.
So
There we go.
do you have any plans for after this series?
That's the big question. Yes and
Every
no.
time. Yeah.
Yes and no. Yes, there are plans I want to keep writing. What I want to write, don't know. I think I want to. I'm gonna stick with fantasy. I like making crap up. But I would like to do more of a tournament style theme.
Okay.
Okay, you're gonna have to
Okay.
explain that to me now. Tournament style.
Yeah,
What?
like what's the movie?
Justin?
Katniss. What's that?
Hunger Games.
One of my favorite movies. Thank you, Hunger Games. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Battle
This is
Royale.
water. I promise. I promise.
Like Battle,
Yeah,
This is
sure.
not.
So is
Royale
this.
This is not.
Jack,
But I think
I never play any
something-
Battle Royale games like Fortnite and all that. But you know, I can't get into Battle Royale games, but that's what she's trying to talk about.
Yes.
Something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, like
Angel.
the last survivor kind of a deal. You know, last one standing
You know,
wins.
you have to fight.
I think I
people
would
to
enjoy
get
it more in
something.
book form.
I like that idea.
I
That is a
would-
pretty
I think I
cool
would enjoy
idea.
something
Yeah.
like that in a book because but video game I can't do it in video games. But
Yeah, but then
maybe
you're
in
having to
book
deal with
form,
like
they'll
real
become
people
better.
and crazy. I don't like real people. Real
But
people bug
to
me,
be
except
able
these
to-
people.
I can't play online, Jack. I mean, only it's rare that I play online.
Have a 10-year-old call you a dickhead. You know, that's always fun.
I think, but
When they beat you in Madden 2024.
yeah, I'm not a gamer, so some of this. Is,
Yeah. Not
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I used to be a big
literally
game
my
boy.
eyes glaze over when they start talking about games. I'm like, okay, yeah.
No, but I mean, I'm a gamer, but I'm mostly story-driven games, like single-player story-driven. I'm not into that online.
You're not a
battle
battler.
royale, but
Yeah,
nah,
no.
I'm not
Shoot
a-
them up, bang them up, kill them.
No, but the dude who was just texting me, that he is. He loves all
He's
that
the
crap.
gamer.
Call of Duty and whatever and shoot
Does
him in
he play
the.
Madden too? I bet.
Nah, he doesn't even know. He doesn't know if a football is blown up or stuffed.
Oh, good.
Well, anyways, so
Okay, anyways, yeah.
fantasy after a game, yeah.
I would like to stick with it because I can make up the crazy stuff that happens. You know, like
Mhm.
the Hunger Games, Suzanne Collins, she's got the tar that comes out of the buildings, you know, in the third movie, and they, you know, tries to flood them and all of that. I'm like, I could come in the smoke, you know, that burns you instead of, you know, kills you by inhalation. You touch it and you burn to death. You know,
Mhm.
crazy stuff like that. I could come up with some really dark stuff.
Really
So I would
jacked
like
up
to go a little
things.
bit darker. I would like to go darker in the story because Talon's pretty lighthearted. I mean, definitely appropriate for middle grade.
Mhm.
Kind of wrote it to be kind of that edge of middle grade and YA. So I'd like to go a little bit darker, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we all about that around here now.
I know.
We've had Angel over here reading all these hardcore books recently. I'm surprised he's still able to eat dinner most nights.
And
I got
think-
a stomach made out of iron.
Yep, that has to be the explanation.
yeah.
Not to mention I write all myself. So yeah.
I think that's why the table stood out at TAC because everything was horror and goblins and blood, and they're like, "Oh, what's this cute little furry jaguar?" You know? They go, what is this? This is different. What are these plants? Looks like a
Oh, this
jungle."
looks nice and comfortable.
Oh yeah. I mean, let me sit down.
Everything else
Hey,
makes
Jen,
me
you wanna
feel like
sit
I'm
down
gonna die.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, with your setup, you definitely have got to do more conventions and stuff. I mean, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if it would ever be something that you could do, but the trick to making a nice little chunk of change is to go to the Bigfoot Festival in Townsend, Tennessee, with a cryptid book, because you have to have cryptid themed stuff to sell. But other than that, as long as you've got that part covered, you can sell everything else too. Now, I know this to be true because for the past 2 years, I've gone to the Bigfoot Festival with Richard to sell his Wild Eyed Southern Boys books, which have Sasquatch in it. And it ain't nothing to sell 70, 80 books while we're there, plus all of his wife's stuff that she makes, the crafts that she makes. You show up with your rig, your setup, throw some extra crafts out there, along with your books, and having just that one. You got to have that one cryptid book. You got that all laid out. You're walking out of there with $2,000, $3,000, $4,000.
That would be cool because the carving there of Papa Bois came from Tennessee, and the necklace that's on the cover, I actually hooked up on Facebook with a gal from Wales who does like wire wrap jewelry, made an identical replica of this necklace. It is awesome. I should have brought it in here.
I was gonna say you got to bring the stuff on the show to show off.
She makes me a pendant for every book cover that I have. So I'm waiting for the book for her to mail. She just finished it. It's a big stingray and her interpretation of a stingray. And then like the book, she's got like a tree of life thing with a sea glass. It's wrapped sea glass, so it's perfect for the sea and the Caribbean and stuff. So I'm like, hey, can you make me this? Hey, can you make me that? And so I just send her the cover and she goes for it. So to have some stuff, like that to show off when you say crafts, that would be kind of cool. So.
Exactly. Well, see now, Kristin, she's gotten into doing the resin molds and things like that. And dude, she's got some molds, like she can make a full chest set with these things that she's got, and work like logo. Like if you were to get like little printouts of like book covers, like little tiny ones, so you can set them in the mold and then coat over them so that it's themed literally to whatever it is you want it to be.
That'd be cool.
Which I think is pretty freaking neat.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, I was thinking like, fantasy portal, Bigfoot. That could be something you write. Fantasy portal, Bigfoot, or God, there's so many cryptids. You could like Mothman, like Jen's talking about getting the Mothman outfit. It's like you could come up with so many different things.
I'm really drawn to the Mothman because I mean it's something that people have seen in the air, and it's never been disproven, but it's never been really proven 100% either. So I guess it's still a viable theory, just like all the other cryptids. It's just like
I'm learning something today. I didn't know there was such a thing as Mothman. So.
Yes, he's
you've got to look him up.
Jersey. He's definitely more like New England, northeast.
Well, now there's a lot of them in the Midwest too, though. There's quite a few. Yeah, there's quite a few sightings.
Sasquatch, but not Mothman.
Yeah,
how about the Jersey Devil?
Mothman. He's in Jersey.
Yeah, he's straight up in Jersey. Yeah.
He's flat out Jersey. But they're like the skinwalkers and stuff like that. That's a Navajo thing, and we have the Navajo Nation out here. They're literally a few hours north of where I'm at. I'm in Arizona. So yeah,
the armpit of hell.
No, that's Toledo, Ohio. Thank you very much.
He's Jen's self-aware.
Calling out, calling out my hometown. But no, I mean, we're Satan's front doorstep. It's pretty hot. It's like right now it's 93 degrees.
You're like me, and when the high today is 73, I'm now going, God,
I'm freezing. Yes.
Which I'm originally from Kansas, and this would be beautiful.
Yeah.
But now with having over 100 for months and months and months, and no rain, 73 is like, what happened? Fall is finally here. Finally.
You're like,
it's 63 here.
Yeah, Jack's in the frozen tundra now.
What's it like in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I'm stuck in the 90s again. But it never really gets cool out here too much. Although for Christmas it's nice and cool. It's not. I'm like nighttime during the holiday season. At nighttime is wonderful. It's really cool out here. Well, the biggest cryptid out here is the chupacabra. I'm sure you heard of
Yeah.
that.
We've
Yeah.
got those in Texas too.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've heard, but they're coming. They're border hoppers. They're actually a Mexican. They're a Mexican
Right.
folklore, and
Yes.
they in the states that border Mexico. Texas, New
Mhm.
Mexico,
Right. Mhm.
Arizona, California. We have
So
those.
they can swim to Puerto Rico. Is that what you're telling
Oh
me?
yeah, they can swim.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why
they
not?
just go- absolutely.
They just don't
Yeah,
like
I
the
mean-
cold.
Or maybe we got our own breed of them here.
Yeah.
Who the
But
heck knows?
and that's the thing. It's like everybody has very similar there's even a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot thing out here, a myth out here. And I'm like, isn't it too hot for a Bigfoot? There's really no trees taller than me out here because nothing grows real tall out this way.
See,
It's
I've
all
always
desert.
imagined that they're kind of like dogs. You know how they don't sweat, so they
I
you get
can
this
only,
Bigfoot
I
running
mean,
around.
but the only thing that I can think of is we do have cave systems, and we do have up north in northern Arizona, it does snow.
And that's where your stories come from.
And that's probably
That's
where
where
I'm
your myth and
assuming,
mythology, because
yes,
that's where
like
it comes
Sedona
from,
and
right there.
Kingman and all that stuff up north, but
How
they
many of you
also
here? Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
they also have the skinwalkers up that way too, because the Navajo Nation is up that way as well. And I can't get none of my friends that are Navajo to talk to me about them. They're like, I might not practice. Yeah. Oh, they do not. They're like, I might not practice my Navajo tradition, but I know I'm not supposed to talk to the skinwalker because you're not, or to you about the skinwalker because you're not bringing that on me. They think the skinwalker will come after them.
That's
So I'm
crazy.
actually working on a short story for an anthology that's about skinwalkers.
And I'm trying to figure out if I want to do Mothman or if I want to do skinwalkers, because
You do
skinwalkers are rather interesting, because those are supposedly witches gone bad and what happens when you do go bad. And it's kind of a different take on karma and how it affects you. And it's just, I love it. I love their thought process. And the thing is that you never know where it's at. And there's so many different TikToks out there that are like from the people of the Navajo Nation who are like, oh, you want to hear a skinwalker? They go outside and they hear some random weird noise. It's like a howl off in the distance. They're like, that's a skinwalker. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so cool. My pale face going on like,
I did the worst thing possible. When it comes to like possession type stuff, the whole spider crawl crap scares the bejesus.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, the what?
She's
Yeah, I
the
don't-
spider walk.
The
It's like
weird
where she flips over backwards and
Oh.
she's
that kind of
bent
stuff.
and just
I don't do that. Okay. And I Google search images with skinwalker, and it was one of those weird, like deformed walking. Oh no. Mm-mm.
She's like, no,
No.
Nope, stuck in her head forever. Well, now
Uh,
she's got a little secret project going. I'm going to reveal a little bit about it
Ooh.
because I pushed her on it. And it's another type of cryptid that I just myself I find
Who?
fascinating. The Pukwudgie.
Yeah.
what the? Does
The
it sound like your dog?
Pukwudgie. No, they're little. They're not very big. They're little,
About
but
the size
they
of
are
a chihuahua?
no bigger trouble, more like a little person, a dwarf. And
Look at
they
that little
are
face, though. I just can't get over her little face.
usually cutie patootie. That's one thing you're gonna find around here when you
So
tune into
this-
this show. There's gonna be an animal sighting at some point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. There's the
Ah.
Pukwudgie.
Yeah.
It looks like something from the Chronicles of Spiderwick or whatever the heck that movie was.
Yeah.
The Spiderwick movie.
And apparently
looks-
there's also a Pukwudgie in Harry Potter, I guess.
That is so cool.
Oh yeah, that little weird little guy.
Yeah, I guess.
So I've never
so.
seen the movies, but I see the memes and the gifs that people do. So yeah,
They're
that little guy.
called. Are you talking about the trolls or the little?
He's a little skinny, dorky looking dude. Got a big nose.
That's Dobby,
Oh, okay. I don't know.
and he is a free elf. Okay.
He has a sock now. Come
Oh,
on.
yeah, look at
he
here.
got his sock. Ew, ew, ew.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What
So see
the?
that?
And look at her, she's literally like covering her eyes, even though the phone's turned
Yes,
away from
I
her.
see it.
We get it.
Caca.
It's awful.
Caca.
But yeah,
I'll
there are
never
so
unsee
many.
that.
And granted, we just dove down a rabbit hole.
These
that
are
is
hilarious.
deep as hell over here. But yeah, just going back, have you ever thought of dipping into something like that, or just something maybe even out of your own comfort zone?
No.
No,
Just no.
right now
no,
we're done.
no.
That's what everybody said. You know, I would love to dive into romance because it's the #1 genre. You know, if I want to make some money off of this, I should go into romance, but it just doesn't interest me. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've thought about it, and I can't force myself to write sickening love stories.
it's like I was
You know,
huh?
me
Chris?
being the romantic that I am, I'm probably gonna dip my toe in it at some point.
So
you know.
Bobby and I are
Oh,
actually working on
I gotta read that.
Bobby and I are actually working on a thriller / erotic book.
I have read.
Oh, you
parts
can
of it.
mix that, huh?
Yeah.
There's an idea.
Yeah, I've read
heard of it,
some
yeah,
of
so-
what they've been
We've
writing.
got-
Read it.
Sweat
We've
beads.
got a
right
lot
here.
of spicy scenes in there, and I've realized that I really enjoy writing the spicy scenes.
There you go. Get on
She's-
it.
that's what-
She's
She's
that's what's
getting
funny.
a, you guys are
There's
getting
nothing
a
wrong with that.
smut book from her next week.
Yeah, that's what's so funny about it is that Bobby
Smut
does most of
sells.
the like build up to the steamy stuff, and then Kristen's like, gimme, and then she just goes in and just goes, wow,
Love it.
Yeah.
freaking.
It's like,
Actually, Jack read chapter 2 of what I wrote.
so
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
into it.
I felt
You-
some
you
sort of
started.
way after I was done.
He got tingly.
A little tingly. Little tingly. Wasn't sure what to do with myself. Didn't know what to do. I was kind of like, okay, oh my God, what did I just read?
And
I gotta-
Uh,
I gotta be interested in what I'm writing, just like in school. I gotta be interested
Yes.
in what I'm reading. I
Yep.
want to
Yeah.
read about animals and nature and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't sit here and write bullshit. I really
well, see, now
can't.
that's what I'm struggling with that sort of myself right now. I've been writing chapter 5 of this secret project that Jen knows about for what seems like 6 months now. One chapter, because there's literally no action. It's all description. It's
Description.
all where everybody's trying to get to, how the place is put together, who are the people that are there, what are their functions, where are people that show up going to sleep, you know, who's feeding them, and
It's the boring part for him. He doesn't
info
like that
dump?
part.
see, Jen loves
info
that
dump?
stuff.
Okay,
Hmm?
can you spread out your info dump in the first couple chapters before leading to that one? Little bits in each chapter, and then you'll have the whole story and you can bang with some action.
Tried it won't work because the way the thing is flowing, it
Mhm.
starts off at a little concrete block restaurant, little mom and pop joint, and these are your characters that you're really going to be focusing on, is the patrons and the employees that work there, and then their journey to get to this place where they know they can go to. And so now I'm everyone's kind of out doing their thing. They're running now, you know. We got the prologue and 1 through 4. Everybody's out doing whatever they're doing. And now I'm at the farm. And so I'm describing the farm, the guy that owns the farm. And it's kind of one of those, it needs to all be here, because
You
then
gotta
after
know
that,
where they're at. Okay, yeah.
exactly. Because then once I get to chapter,
it's his boring part. It's the part he hates. And it's because everything else, everything else up to that is just, it's smashing. It's amazing. And see, I have a problem with the opposite. I have a problem with the action and stuff like that. And I'm real good at describing what you're looking at as you're standing in the room.
Maybe
I'm about to
know,
mess
I
around
can-
and send you the freaking file for chapter 5, because Doc's already
Then
throwing ideas at me. Be like, just finish this damn thing.
Do it.
Because I know I
Give it
know
to
how I want the
me.
chapter to go. I know how I want it to
Give it to
end,
me.
because
I'll get
It's
it done
gonna-
today.
it's literally going to end with 2 of the characters, Vern and Jacob, who, you know,
Yeah.
they're nuts, and they've gotten themselves into a bit of a pickle, and so they radio in to the guy at the farm like, hey boss, we kind of got ourselves in trouble. And then he's going to be like, all right, Chris, Jamal, get the crew, go. And then that's the end of the chapter, like
Yeah. It's
them
just
heading
getting
out.
everything set up for, the description of what everything looks like, which I think I do very well at. I don't
Yes,
know,
you
Jack,
do.
you've read my books.
Yes, you do. You do very well at it.
It's And
No.
that's the part that I guess, how do you come up with your, your, I don't know how much action is in your fantasy book. If there is the action, how, what do you do when you're trying to describe a room?
I'm describing more of nature, really.
Okay.
Okay.
The sun and the speckles and the trees and the flowers and the animals, that's mostly what it is. As far as action, Talon does do some challenges and stuff, the Papa Bois, the character, kind of the wizardly, teaching him how to be a healer. Go do this, go do that. He's like, what does this have to do with being a healer? What is me climbing up cliff walls and jumping across these boulders and getting flushed down this waterway under the ground have
That
to
is
do?
so not what I thought you were going to say, but yeah.
I know.
Yeah, but it's like that's his action. That's the action that happens in my book,
Yeah.
and that, or it's emotional tension and action in
Oh, that's tough.
I'm trying for
Really?
more action in book 3. I think there'll be a lot more going on, just because it took me 2 books, I think, actually, for me to get the story out.
Yep.
The immediate. And then when I started adding stuff in the prequel, I was like, oh, we got to push this along, or I'm gonna lose readers. Still people read it. No, I love it in the description, and I can't wait to see what he does next. I'm like, that's very good, but I think it's my inner critic, and I've got that.
That's where I feel like I'm at.
Syndrome. I was like,
Yes.
oh, no, we got to keep the flow. We got to keep it going. So I'm probably more critical, but for me, describing it, I'll look at, to get ideas of different places in the realm. I need a new setting. I need a new thing. I'm all over Pinterest looking at stuff, and I'm like, that's a badass waterfall. That would be cool. And what if under the waterfall, it's this water tunnel, which is now called the sluice? What if it went and it went there, and it went all these places? So that's where
that is really awesome.
I just look at, Pinterest or whatever.
But I never even thought about that, looking at Pinterest or anything like that. I've been sitting here looking at maps and looking at some stupid, I'm like, mine's based on real places though, where yours is more, you've got creativity that I don't know if I ever could have. Yes, one of those.
And I was going to say, have you heard of Atlas Obscura? It's a big red book. I'm looking on my shelf.
No.
Joanna Penn, she uses that a lot, the Atlas Obscura, and it's about this thick hardback book, and it has all of these little places, has all the different continents, and it has different museums or natural things that you can
I love
visit.
it.
And it's got a little paragraph or 2 about it and what's interesting about it. And so I'll flip through there. And that's where she gets a lot of her ideas too, because she's into graveyards and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of interesting things in that book as well. So and it is set in real world. So I do describe a little bit of kind of what the Caribbean might look like, because it's set in present day Antigua and stuff, and little cafes or whatever. But everything below ground, all made up in my little pea brain. So yeah, because you get a little bit of both. Above ground and below ground. Yeah.
Good. I'm totally looking forward to it, and I will be talking to you as soon as we are done with this show here today, because I need to go ahead and get that thing in the mail, get it headed this way. I will get the frame ordered that way after I finish. Well, actually, what I'm going to do is get the book, hang the book, get the Kindle version. That's the version I'll read because, well, these eyes ain't as good as they used to be. Speaking of which, Angel, dude, the print is this big in the new Pina Coladas and Rats. I can't see that. Thank goodness I got the damn Kindle version of it for my old blind ass.
God, quit whining.
You need a large print version. I did that.
I mean, I understand it is small. No, I mean,
It's
no lie,
teeny.
it's small. However, I can read it just fine. And we're almost the same age, sir.
Yep.
Right there. That's what I got to do. I got to do that right there.
That must. It sucks to suck, don't it?
She put you on blast, Jack. Oh, he shot the eagle.
That's
There
my
goes the eagle.
second one of the day. I got one even before the show started. I'm on a roll.
See, there would have been at least 3 or 4 more had Dan been on today.
Yeah.
Since he was sick,
Usually he's the one that gets them.
Yeah, he's our show derailer, which we love him for it. But yeah, he catches eagles pretty much every single week.
Yeah, poor guy's not feeling good. So But
Yeah.
Before we get too much,
I did write that Atlas Obscura down, so I'm really excited.
Yeah,
Thank you for
it's
that.
pretty cool. It's neat. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get my hands on that. Definitely gonna have to get my hands on that because I've got a couple other ideas for stuff I might want to tinker with, like short story wise and stuff like that. And it would be cool to have
Yes.
some just oddball places to set
have-
it, you know.
I already have like 8 different stories in my head. Maybe 4 of them are on paper. So
And you wonder why
Just
you're
saying.
insane.
The only other thing that
Way before
I
that.
love, I don't know who's the Neil Gaiman fans in here, but if you,
I love Neil
if
Gaiman.
you Google or YouTube Neil Gaiman story ideas, there's a little 4-minute clip of him answering a question of someone saying, "Where do you get your ideas from?" And his answer is pure gold. You've
I am
gotta
gonna
look it
have
up.
to. I'm gonna have to watch that.
And it just
No
shows
doubt.
what a brilliant mind he has for saying, well, if you know that at midnight you're bitten by the werewolf, you are a werewolf. But what happens if the werewolf bites a chair? And then he goes on this long rant. It's amazing. And it's just like,
He sounds
if he
insane.
can
He
do
did
that,
it.
I
Yeah.
can do, you take your typical stories and you twist them. And that's what I like to do in telling, like all these scary creatures. I'm like, no, they're not all scary. Papa Bois is not scary, so you take it and twist it. But you look that one up on YouTube. Neil Gaiman.
Definitely gonna
I
do that.
am definitely doing that.
Oh yeah, it's like 4 minutes long. It's part of a big long interview, but that little snippet will come right up. It's so cute.
Definitely doing that.
Checking that out for sure. Well, man, I don't know where the time went because
It's time already?
it is 3 minutes till right
Oh,
now.
is it?
God dang
Mine
it.
We
just-
have flown through this thing. Well, since Richard is not here to gripe because he's old man, I got to go have my blue plate special. If y'all want to keep going and everybody's available to keep going, we can keep going because I'd like to dig a little deeper into that world. I mean, you saw the tree, you heard about the tree, and you started building your story behind that. But how much other stuff did you have to create on your own because you didn't have any other information to really blow this story up into something that was worth writing?
I think I just did some research on the folklore of the tree, why it's so sacred, because it houses the spirits of the dead,
Right.
supposedly. And that's where we get the maybe not that tree, but most trees kind of known to house the spirits of the dead, knock on wood, means you don't want to release the spirits, and where we get all these sayings from. But I looked up the folklore, and then when I looked up the folklore of the tree, I learned the folklore of Papa Bois and La Diablesse and all these other crazy characters. I'm like, ooh, I never heard of them. Never heard of them. So when I thought, oh, what if there's this world below and then this kid that falls into it and what does he find? Then it was just idea salad.
It just started broiling.
It just started broiling. So it was just like, well, I could have him find this and he could be that and his grandpa could do this and his mom could do this and his dad, it go back to Neil Gaiman's thing. You just make it up. That basically he summed it up in his answer. He goes, you just make it all up.
I think that's one of the funniest things I ever saw online where I think it just flows around as like a meme now or whatever, but someone had posted a photo of a review they had gotten, and the person is going on this rant about, well, it was just like the author was just making this crap up as they went along. And it's
I
like,
hate to break it to you, but
yeah, sort of did.
That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
Isn't it about writing?
Yeah. But I wanted to show the folklore as not being as scary as they all make it. Because there's people in Antigua that still believe this stuff. They still believe a lady sheds her skin, turns into a fireball, and flies through the air and can get into your house through a keyhole.
Wow.
They still believe
And
that
I'm like,
shit
they
here.
still believe that.
They
and-
believe that here too.
Maybe it's true.
Mhm.
But
You know-
it's like, you know what I'm saying? I
How
wanna
much
make it
truth is
fun.
behind the myth?
Right. I mean, all myths come from trying to
Somewhere.
figure out truth, you would think.
Yeah.
When you boil right down to it, people are trying to figure out why things are the way they are, and
Right.
you come up with a story or to teach a lesson to your family or your children, or pass down stories of religion or spirituality or your belief system, whatever that might be.
Mhm.
So that's, yeah, I want to kind of stay true to that a little bit. Like I looked up some old sayings that they would say when they want to keep evil spirits away, and that's going to play a big part in book 3 and 4 and stuff. So I want to kind of pay homage to that, but I also want to just throw something at it.
Well, now, have at any point when you've been writing these stories, have you started writing something, or you're getting towards the end of something that you're writing in it, a very specific piece, that all of a sudden you feel yourself getting emotional, like where you could almost shed tears, and you're like,
That's
"Why
the
am
fun
I
of
doing this?"
That's the fun of it. And, and I'll go back and I'm reading and I'll pick up a page. I'm like, oh my God, I wrote that. I don't even remember writing that, and so I got to have my little Bible of my outline of what happened and who knows what when, so that I don't repeat it again, or foreshadowing. But yeah, I'll look at stuff and I'll be like, oh, I can't believe I wrote that. Oh my God, this guy just, like when I wrote the prequel, there's a pretty gruesome, and not super gruesome murder, but it's just, he's so mean. The character's just so mean and vile. I'm just like,
and you're like, that came from me?
Like, ick. You just
I need a shower.
Yeah. Yes. I can't believe I did that.
Yeah. It's like, and because my editor, she goes,
thoughts.
he's an asshole.
Yeah.
She said, and I was like, okay, and then she was like, your other character, it sounds like he's kind of a pompous jerk. Was he meant to sound like that? I was like, no. This guy was meant to really care and love for his family. She goes, I totally missed it. You need to fix it. So I would go back. But yeah, when you write it, you're just kind of like, ooh, is this too heavy for middle grade or YA? And then some people say no, because they watch all this other crazy stuff on TV. So I just love it.
I mean, and that's not wrong, but
I think I already know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, for the audience at home. And oh, by the way, hello, Carl Meadows. How you doing, bloke? I hope you're doing well out there, mate. Things
God,
good in the UK. I hope everything is fine. Maybe we'll have a spot of tea and a crumpet later. Beautiful. I love to make my buddy Carl wretch, because I do like the worst Dick Van
we
Dyke
all cringe.
impression. And I've been doing it to him like every episode. As soon as I see Carl Meadows is watching, oh, it's on. It's happening. But do you ever find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, not necessarily startled awake, but you got to get up and go to the bathroom or just whatever, and all of a sudden an idea hits you? What do you do? Do you just write it down, or do you go straight to the computer?
It's like, I'll kind of tell myself that's really good ending. I need to remember that. That. I mean, a few times I've written it down, or try to type it in my phone in the dark, and I read it the next morning going, because it does predictive text. What is that? Delete, but you always think you'll remember it. You won't.
And you don't.
Especially in the middle of the night. Just write it down. Get a
see, that's where I got this little guy. Now, admittedly, there's nothing in it right now, but
there will.
In my defense, I just got it because some ding dong left it on the back of my
ahead. You took it a step ahead. What the rest of us have done. I ain't got shit by my bed.
Yeah, because this is something I can stuff
other
in my
than
back
my drink.
pocket.
I really need to have a couple of those to carry around, because while I'm at work, I'm like, oh, that would make a great story.
Yeah, I mean, like a big notebook's not going to work. You can't tote that everywhere. At least have it easy access, or your phone. Get out of here, youngster.
Yeah. Or you figure out a plot hole. That's what he needs to do. This, and I have woken up and figured out a couple things,
Cool.
It's always, like they say, it's always when your mind wanders, when you're not working on that, you're in the shower, you're in the bathroom, you're in the grocery store, you're just driving down the road. So it's like, to have something quick to either audio record or something.
And I can't use my phone at work, because I'm in training. I'm not allowed to have my phone out on the floor, so the phone won't work. But that is a great idea, Kristin. But
Post-it notes.
I'm always
them everywhere. They're little. They stay in your pocket.
Yeah, it's cool. Honestly, it's gonna have to be some little spiral notebook or something. I mean, I sit at a desk, so I can have another notebook out. It's not an issue. But I'm not allowed to have the phone.
You can't get distracted doing what you're doing.
No. And you kind of can't have your phone when you're in the room talking to a patient either. So it's like, jot it down on a sticky note.
Yep, she's got her notebooks back. Kristen's on it.
I'm gonna have to scoot. I'm gonna have to scoot out of here. I gotta help my mother with dinner. So
okay, see you, Angel.
Man. Well, hey, be sure you post pictures of what y'all are eating, because we all love to see what everybody else is eating that we don't get to.
I'm just having steak and rice. Nothing too crazy.
Oh, just steak and rice.
Just steak and rice. Yeah,
just steak and rice.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, Angel, brother.
I'll see you guys later, man. All right.
Love you, man.
All right, bye.
All right, Stephanie, nice to meet you. I look forward to reading your book.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So
And then
just
there were
steak and
4.
rice.
Yeah, just
Just
steak and
steak.
rice. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, in paradise. No
Yeah.
big deal.
You know
Yeah.
what? Listen here, you little shit. I have to go on a diet because my cholesterol is too fucking high.
Ah.
Fuck you and your steak and rice.
And for the record, everybody, she would have said that if he was still on here.
You're goddamn right.
Yeah.
I'll tell him I'll drive and then swim to Puerto Rico and tell him to his face. Don't you
Oh, my
ever,
goodness.
sir.
All right, well, let's just dig a little deeper into getting to know you a little bit there, Stephanie. Since food just got brought up, what is your absolute go-to favorite food?
Chocolate,
Chocolate.
Amen.
Specific chocolate.
milk chocolate.
Oh, so like Hershey bar.
Yeah, no, there it just as long if it's
Just milk.
chocolate.
It's got
Chocolate.
chocolate on it. Snickers, it don't
Yeah.
matter.
I mean, if
Well,
you want it
I'm a-
dark or milk, I mean, yeah, we can separate it that way. But no, just chocolate's good. I
Okay.
get it. I
I
understand
have
that.
a major sweet tooth.
Yes.
Oh,
We
well,
do.
have you had the culinary delight that is known as the Payday Bar Avalanche, where it's the Payday Bar with the peanuts and the caramel dipped in chocolate?
I will find one today. On my way.
They are amazing.
I mean,
Huh.
paydays were pretty okay before, even without the chocolate.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
dip them as
I'm
and
Kind
unless
of
they
hoping
change,
they don't really fuck up the chocolate
no, the chocolate
because
is
you
solid.
can.
The
You
chocolate
can.
is solid. Now, granted, it does soak up the salt from the peanuts. So
Which
if you like
makes it
salt,
Salted caramel.
yeah, because you got the big
With
chunk
nuts.
of caramel with chocolate dipped over the top. You can't go wrong.
Yes.
It's
Reese's.
delicious.
Reese's
That
is my
sounds
favorite thing. So
delish.
chocolate and peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate and peanut butter.
Me
Yep.
and
Now,
Kenny are like chocolate and peanut butter.
Yes.
traditional cup or the egg or whatever the
Big
pumpkin.
cup. Reese's big cup.
The big cup. Okay. Oh, you want the peanut butter then. You want you want off in here. You're not worried about out
Lightning
here.
around
You want
here.
Yeah, I actually, which is shocking to me, I don't like diabetes, so I like the regular.
No, that's true though. I gotta watch it.
Well, see, there's a debate that goes on this local sports talk radio show I listen to like every year around Easter and Halloween about how the traditional, regular, jagged little edge Reese's peanut butter cup is nowhere near as good as the holiday ones
I've
because
heard
of
that.
it's the ratio of peanut butter chocolate to
I
peanut
can
butter and
see
chocolate.
that.
You have the
And-
egg, the egg, the ghost, and the tree, right?
Mhm.
They make ghosts now, right?
I think
I
that
don't
think it's
remember
Oh, I'm
if
sorry,
they do
pumpkin.
pumpkins.
Pumpkin.
Yes,
You said
pumpkins.
pumpkin, not ghost. That's what I meant. Sorry. No, don't listen to me.
Although if they're listening right now, hey, feel free to make ghosts. We'll eat those too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
really
we'll
don't
still eat
care.
them. They do taste different. But there's even the regular peanut butter cup and the miniatures. There's a difference.
Mhm.
It really is. It really does have to do with the ratio, I believe.
Yeah,
And
because like the miniatures are like all peanut butter, really.
Well,
if you think about it, I mean, they're
I love the miniatures and I love the regular cup. The big cup to me, gaggy. I can't. I'm
it's too much.
too much. Which
All right,
is
what about the
shocking
Reese's
because
cup with the pretzels in it? And there's another one, ain't there? That's got
the
M&Ms,
Reese's
or
Pieces,
the Reese's Pieces inside the damn Reese's
just
cup.
the OG is all you need.
No, but I'll eat it Take 5 any day. Reese's Take 5.
Yeah, those are all.
Okay,
Because it's not a peanut butter cup. Don't mess with my peanut butter cup. Just
Yep.
Oh,
just leave
See,
it.
me,
Leave
I
it
guess I'm
alone.
on the outside looking in on it because to me, the perfect Reese's cup is the original Reese's cup. The reason I say that, because I like to go around the outside edge first. I want to take those big
You're a
bits right off
weirdo.
the edge and
You
then take the last
deconstruct-
bit.
You deconstruct your food, don't you?
this
I
is
do.
like someone eating an Oreo. Do you dunk it or do you twist it and then eat the
Middle.
frosting?
Oh no,
and
no,
then eat the-
I'm a dunker. I'm a dunker, or I just shove the whole thing in my face.
Yeah.
There's like no in between. It's like I'm not doing this. Why am I
So
taking
you're-
it apart?
You're a part-time deconstruct. My sister will
like so
deconstruct.
much now.
My sister will deconstruct
Learning
every
so much
single-
now.
my sister will deconstruct every single thing that you put on her plate. A
So like,
sandwich,
okay,
she
loaded
can't just eat a sandwich. bread's got to come off. She picks the inside. Then she might pick the bread if she eats the bread, and then everything, she deconstructs everything. And I look at her and I said,
Why?
have you gone to the doctor?
Say, what
Have you seen a psychiatrist for what is wrong with you? Because I would like to know what that is.
Okay, I need a video made next time y'all get together. I need you to make her a loaded baked potato because I want to see what happens. Is she picking all the bacon off individually, and then she's peeling the cheese out of it?
That's a good question. She might not even eat a loaded baked potato.
I'm curious. That's your homework.
I am too now.
Barbecue on it. Oh my God.
I'm gonna tell my sister, I need a video of you eating a loaded baked potato. And she's gonna be like, what is wrong with you? Speaking of which, happy birthday, sis. Today's her birthday. She's old.
Happy birthday.
I'm the oldest, but she's still old.
See, I love baking. And
Baking, yes.
I specifically love playing with cheesecake. Yeah.
What does playing with cheesecake look like exactly?
Putting bacon on top of cheesecake with some chocolate and or caramel.
No.
That sounds amazing, actually.
To make different types of cheesecakes and stuff like that, just different flavors. I'm actually, you were saying probably in November, I'm going to make a German chocolate cheesecake.
That sounds good.
And then
I'll be there.
I'm also going to be making a apple butter cheesecake.
Have you ever had chocolate dipped bacon?
I have.
It's so good.
Why would you do that?
It's
My
delicious.
mom did it.
Why-
It is
why would you
amazing.
do
It is delicious. It's the craziest thing.
I looked
and
at
you're
it
like-
and I was like, what is this? And
That
I said,
sounds
it's an
sacrilegious.
abomination. It's really not.
It's the sweet,
so-
salty thing. It's that what do they
you
call
will
that?
love it. It's like
That's
the salty
horrible.
caramel thing. No, it's not.
I'll just dip the pretzels in chocolate. That makes more sense.
I'm telling you, bacon, chocolate covered bacon is amazing.
It's
I'm very
ridiculous.
picky about my bacon.
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
and
but
another
that's
place that I've had
I am too, but it's- I'm
another
telling you.
place that I've had bacon that didn't seem like a place that bacon should be was on top of a donut stick, like with the caramel type glaze, and then
Yep.
the bacon just laid right on top of it, and you just
Yep, in
bite
Toledo,
right off.
Ohio.
Be a doctor.
In Toledo, Ohio, they have a donut shop called Holy Toledo, and they make these maple
That's what it
bacon
is.
donuts.
Mm-mm.
It's a donut with maple syrup and bacon and some other shit on top of it. And I've had it. I'm telling you right now, this is diabetes on a plate, and it is amazing.
This
Insane.
Diabetes and high cholesterol on a plate.
explains a lot, Jack.
If it were a food, that would be it. It's amazing.
It's so good, man. Bacon, like let's say, bacon can
Listen.
go everywhere.
I'm a fat girl. You got to take what I say as gold.
Mm-mm.
No, you're not.
Yes,
You are
I
not.
know.
Damn it.
I know what's good. You can't trust a skinny cook. I'm just saying.
Well, I ate 3 steaks one night.
Are you trying to?
Now,
Are you
with
trying to
the-
join the fat girl club? You can't. You're
with the
tiny.
salad and a slice of apple pie and a baked potato,
Wait.
and I was still snacking on cucumbers.
4-ounce steak or like 10 ounce
Like
steak?
steaks.
Are you pregnant?
No,
Nope.
I mean, there's
No.
got to be. Are
No,
you bulimic?
don't
Are
ask
you
me.
eating for 2 people?
She has a
you
hollow
were at
leg.
the Texas event. You were at the Texas event. You know the nachos that were at the bar? So it was a plate full, and I freaking devoured them by myself.
I could eat some
My
nachos too.
Ask, I mean,
God.
literally ask Bobby. She's seen me put away some food.
I'm like, I've decided, because I have found out that I recently have high cholesterol and I need to start working out. I'm excited about it because I'm going to work out and I'm going to be able to shovel anything I fucking want in my mouth.
Uh,
I'm so
That's one way of
excited.
looking at it.
Yes, I am going to eat and eat and eat. And guess what? I'll go work it off and I'll be okay. Oh,
She- we got a snort.
no, we had a
That was a
burp.
burp.
I was trying to not point
Cover.
that out. Thank you, Jen. And you know,
Oh
it
my
just
God.
occurs to me, I'm suddenly outnumbered like 3-1 here.
You're outnumbered even with Angel here.
Well, true
Sorry.
enough, but at least I had one extra guy.
Yeah,
Holy
no.
crap.
I mean,
But as I've been saying ever since me and Kristin and Bobby Jean and Jen and Patty all became friends, I'm just one of the girls hanging out with my scraggly ass beard over here. So something I gotta ask, because you know I'm gonna try to weasel my way in, because you guys that know me. Do you write people you know in real life into any of these books?
That's a good question. I haven't yet. I really haven't. That's interesting. I haven't thought about that, because the big joke is, you piss a writer off, look out in a book because they're going to kill you off,
Damn right.
and this is very true for
I
me.
haven't. That's interesting. I have not. I should.
Well, damn it.
There's
But I
so
have
many
named
people.
characters after people, but not really meaning to. I bounce a lot of ideas off Mom. And she's like, you need to make a character who's just a real bitch and name her Margie, because that's
Well, I mean, that is one way of going about doing it. And well, like for example, I'm in Wild Eyed Southern Boys, the prequel. It's the 1901 version, so it's why he decided to write me as 5'6". I don't know. I'm 5'9.5", but he's a little guy, scraggly beard, and he incorporates. Shut up. I have bits of my personality thrown in there, so you can read it and tell if you've ever talked to me and know me. It's like, yeah, that is based on Jack, but other aspects of him are like, yeah, no, Jack's not that badass. That's not him. And then you get the third version or the third book, where I'm the descendant of that guy, and I'm not so nice. I'm kind of an asshole, to be honest. Evil, even. And
so more close to reality.
Yeah, that. So it's the whole cool thing about it. And the reason I actually suggest doing it is not just for selling the books, but these are people you actually know. And so Richard has told me, he said it's made it easier to write that character because he knows me. And he knows I'm cool with whatever he does. It's like, I don't care, man. You make me as evil as you want. Hell, next time we're at the Bigfoot Festival, somebody's read book 3 and hated that character because he was such an evil bastard, and they want to walk up and punch me. Fine, like let them punch me or whatever.
That means you're doing your job as an author.
So I'm saying, if you've thought about doing it, do it. Start talking to your friends, talk to your family, go like, hey, look, I got this scene coming up, and it may just be a cameo. Just like, they're there, you name them, you describe them, you let them kind of talk like they would talk in real life and do their thing. And then
I would imagine it's kind of hard to do in fantasy because you're trying to keep with a theme. It's
a little bit harder to do just because the book is set in the Caribbean. And I don't know too many Caribbean people.
Exactly.
I talk a lot. I've been twice, and this cab guy that introduced us to the tree, and kind of friends now. But that's really one of the only people I know in the Caribbean. And I ask him questions every now and then. But I named one person after a doctor at work who's from Barbados. I name, it's just like kind of picking names.
Yeah.
But as far as like their personality, it's like I really don't know anybody that would like fit in this setting.
Yeah.
But when I get to that tournament story someday.
Oh yes.
And I start killing off people.
Yes. I'm telling you,
when we do it.
It is so therapeutic.
I do have friends that say, that Robert guy, you need to kill him off. He's a whatever, and in book 3 they get their wish, but I can't say why or how.
But yeah,
no spoilers here.
I put friends, I put foes, anyone that has pissed me off ends up in my book, and 9 times out of 10 you die horribly. You die horribly.
It's like the book that Angel's got, his Pina Coladas and Rats. After so long in the first book, I appear on the scene, and the way he explained me being in Puerto Rico, there's no fantasy to this, totally believable. I am a bounty hunter, and I'm there to get this drug cartel leader, and I find him, but the rats have already ate his ass up.
He skipped bail in the U.S.
something happened, and
What?
and I wound up there, and I'm chasing this guy. Now he's dead. So now what do? Oh crap! There's all these rats, and I wind up with his main group that he'd already started with, and became a main character, and I'm now along for the ride on that. So yeah, it's neat as hell when you get to write in people that you know, because like I killed Jenn in Blood Trail, which I still got to get that thing completely finished.
That is such a
It's just a nonchalant way of saying I
But
killed
there's
Jenn.
so many, you know how in interviews and on the news they only take tidbits they want to hear. There's so many sound bites in here that are just so ominous.
Yes,
It's
we have a lot of those every show.
We have those in our private chat.
In our chat room.
I mean, there's stuff said.
I made Jack one of the word peddler short stories that I wrote. I made him a main character, and he's vampire. You're a vampire, right?
Vampire. Yep. Vampire.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a vampire in that one. And then I have a couple other people who watch the show regularly. Lee Edwards. And then a friend of mine, that's Domino. And then a friend of mine, Chris, they're both in my third book. And I'm almost done. They actually lasted pretty much 3/4 of the book, and I just killed them off.
And loved every second of it. Poured her a drink after she got done and went.
Yeah. I
Hence why he's called Domino.
Oh,
Got the two perfect
then I
little
saw
dots.
Kristen's other dog sneak in, and I was just like, what did he say? I'm looking at the dog.
Yeah, we're definitely animal friendly on the Book Asylum. No two ways about that.
Sleeping on the floor. So.
Yeah, my podcast buddy's laying on the floor too. So she's just
we used to back in the early days of the show, we before we got Jenn, we had Patty, and she would set up where her bed was actually behind her in the backdrop. And her dogs, big dogs, would come in at some random point, jump up on the bed, and start wrestling with each other while we were doing the show. And needless to say, at that point, everybody stopped to watch the dogs wrestle.
Yeah. And yes.
It's just how it goes around here, But see, I love it because I mean, this just shows that it's good people getting
there's
together.
Big old floofy kitty.
Yep, the floofy cat.
Man,
but
he's big.
This is what 4 or 5 animals, Kristin? You've got.
She's got
a ferret.
Ferret. Yes, she's got all sorts.
And she's got another one that's the albino with the red eyes.
Yeah,
and it's cool.
I'm
very
surprised
cool.
you don't have a cow.
If she had room on that property, I guarantee you she would have one.
Oh,
and she would ride it every day like it was a unicorn.
I have room. I can get me a mini fluffy cow.
Mini fluffy cow.
Snuggled all up.
And I would call it my house cow.
The house cow. Yeah. And I wouldn't doubt it. There's actually a notorious video out there of one of the times that I went and hung out with Kristin in person, where her pit bull, lovely Eleanor, is licking my face incessantly, and I'm just giving it that, as I'm just getting wore out. And I didn't know at the time she was filming the whole damn thing.
Of course.
So yeah, that wound up on Facebook and even got turned into a
Lots
reel.
of things have wound up on Facebook that you have done, Jack.
I know.
Lots.
I've become something of a notorious personality.
Yeah, he's
kind of a weirdo.
Something.
I'm different.
Well, look, I have to get going. Stephanie is so awesome.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up real quick.
Okay.
I've got a dinner date. I've got some brisket waiting on me, and I gotta get.
That's an important dinner.
Yeah, I was gonna say we cannot
can't mess
keep you
with
from that. Well, here's how we end the show every single time. We're gonna start off with Kristin Vincent, my little girl. Where can everybody find you?
So y'all can find me on Facebook under Kristin Vincent Author. You can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm not very active on Twitter.
I don't think anybody is.
So, and you can find me on Amazon under K Vincent. So, yep.
Sweet.
Importantly, are there pictures of ferrets and dogs and cats?
On
So
Facebook,
I
yes.
always
Okay.
share photos of my animals on social media on all platforms. And I think in book 2, so my hardbacks has pictures in my hardbacks. And strangely, I do have a photo of Eleanor in one of them, and then I have my late pit bull that I had to put down also in there. So
Yeah.
Very cool. Very
Very
cool. And a little just make everybody jealous moment. I will be at Kristin's next weekend, so I gets to pet the critters. I gets to pet the critters. And even if I didn't want to pet the critters, Keaton is going to make sure that I pet the critters. She's going to bring them to me.
yeah.
So, Jenn Amato, also known as Jen Folk, by the way. She got
Yeah.
married. She did a thing.
Got married in June.
Yeah.
We've been together like 8 years, it was time.
It was time.
It
Do
was
it.
time. But
Get it
I had my
with.
first and second book out before I got married. So that's why I finishing out the group series with the pen name Jenn Amato. But you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Amazon. I do also have Instagram and Twitter, but I'm hardly ever over there and it's pointless. But it's Jenn Amato author or author Jenn Amato. I'm not sure which. See, that's how often I'm there. But you can find me on Facebook. I am on Facebook, Jenn Amato author. You find me on definitely find me on Amazon. I have my 2 books out. My 3rd book, I'm about 40,000 words in. I'm slowly plugging away. I was hoping for an October 23rd release, but it looks like it's probably going to go into November. So look for that. And we get that out as soon as possible. But yeah, I am super excited to get your book, Stephanie. Where can we find you?
Okay, several places. The easiest is the website author stephaniedossantos.com. You can reach me there. You can look me up on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all those places. I'm also on Instagram, author stephaniedossantos.com, Facebook, author Stephanie DosSantos. And then I do have a TikTok page, but I've deleted it off my phone. You can see old goofy stuff there if you want, but I'm not active anymore on TikTok. But yeah, any one of those places, it's usually author Stephanie DosSantos. So, and just drop me an email or whatever, and I can get books either to you or you can order online, whatever you want to do. And I've had so much fun. This is
I am so
Sweet.
glad.
Well,
we have
I
two.
hate to break it to you because you've been one of those guests. Well, I mean, for Pete's sake, we've gone like a half hour over. You do realize this means we're having you back. Right? Yeah, you're going to be back on this show. Yeah. In fact, I may even add you to the, with your permission, of course, to the call out list for when I'm missing hosts and be like, hey, do you want to come on and co-host one week? Just hang out.
That would be fun. I just have every other weekend because I would have to work or sleep. So I'm limited on weekends, but yes.
That'll work. Well, I will
I'm
add
sure
you
if
to
you
the
bribe
and
her
I'm
with
always
caffeine.
back for critters.
Yes.
Yeah, on my screen, it's that way. I'm always down.
I'm
right,
sure
well-
if you bribe her with caffeine, she'll be here.
I'm all about caffeine and chocolate, and
Yes.
I will probably grab me some rum this afternoon or a nice glass of red wine. Where's my red wine, people?
Nice.
Yes.
All right, well, boys
speaking
and
of
girls,
wine.
go ahead.
If you look at I think it's Tennessee homemade wine, they're in Gatlinburg, and I can also send you the link too.
Yes.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
They have some of the best wine and really good price as well. I always order the blackberry wine, and they have a membership where you can pay like, I think $60 something a year, and you get 4 bottles of wine. You get to pick whatever you want, or you can do a cider, and it comes like every quarter.
Oh, cool.
So worth it.
Yeah, send me a message. Send me a messenger. Definitely.
Sweet.
And because Papa Bois came from Gatlinburg there that you saw in the reel. So yeah.
Awesome.
Love me the mountain.
Even better. Well, boys and girls, we have reached the end of this episode of the Book Asylum podcast for Jenn Amato, Potato, Tomato, Amato.
Hold on a minute. Hold
What?
on.
Wait,
You
what?
again tried to get out of giving your stuff.
Oh, that's right. You didn't say where we find you.
I am
Yeah.
going to nail you to the cross every time you do that.
Okay, fine. I have a short story
Bitch.
called Domino about a hairless cat that happens to have the markings of a haired cat in a magazine called Word Peddler. You can find
Yes.
that on Amazon. You can literally type in my name, hence me bringing it up earlier in the show, Jen, about being able to type your name into the search bar and boom,
Yes.
suddenly somewhere you are appears, which is so fucking weird.
Jack Childress. That's
Yes.
it's just Jack Childress.
And it goes
nothing
right
special.
to Word Peddler, right to Word Peddler. It's like, there it is. Grab the book with the chick holding the book in front of her face. You know, it's a big red book. Can't miss it. I literally have the magazine framed and hung on the wall over here. But yeah, you can find me there. So anyway,
And
for
he
Jenn
is
Amato-
telling you all about it too in the background. I can hear it.
Death
he
scream in
is.
the background.
He's
He
like,
wants out. I had to close the door
Yay.
because mom got home and she's in there talking to Tui and all hell's breaking loose. So I'm like, I had to close the door. He's not happy. He wants to go in there and raise hell. So that's why we got to end this show. So for Jennifer Amato, Kristin Vincent, guest of the week, the one and only Stephanie DosSantos, I am Jack Childress. This is the Book Asylum. We will see you guys next week. Stay frosty. Take us home, Kristin.
Awesome.